Good evening, Bob. So
Good evening, George.
we're going to go through the AAR for scenario 11.
Okay.
Your initial thoughts?
Well, there's a lot of ground to cover and not a lot of forces to do it with. So I didn't want to guess wrong, as we have very limited movement. So I took my forces and spread them fairly evenly across the board, fully aware that he who tries to defend everything defends nothing. That said, if I wasn't where you landed, I wasn't going to get anybody there. So I had to pretty much spread everything out. The only real clever thing I did was with the two vehicles, I made sure they were concealed so that you couldn't tell where the tank was. I guess that's why they give the Germans two vehicles, is so you don't exactly know where the tank is.
I have your initial setup now up on the board, and I think that your setup was awesome. I thought I would have wanted to do something similar, but from my perspective, my initial thoughts were, what should I do? Should I attack on two boards with a feint on the third, or should I concentrate my attack? I definitely did not want to attack board one, because my thoughts there were that if I were to attack on board one, it would turn out to be house to house fighting, and it would not give me an advantage. So initially I thought of attacking board 2 and board 3 with a feint on board 4. And after thinking about it for a while, I had changed my plans at the last minute and decided to attack board 3 in force and put a holding action on board 4 in case you were fortifying board 2 and board 1, and try to move in the direction of board 3.
Yeah, I think your attack plan worked out fairly well, and your holding action on 4 turned out to be very effective. The assault on 3 was tentative and a little bit slow, but yeah, your holding action on 4 definitely worked out. I could not get anybody over to reinforce 3 with the cover you had over there.
Hold on. We're recording, so let's go to the board.
All right, let's see. I have here, well, there's going to be a whole lot of, let's see, well, I moved first, which means nothing, so we're going to, let's see, first we flip the turn counter, yeah, and there's basically no German first turn. I don't know why they had the German move first. Right, now it's the Allied turn, and we get to watch you move all your stuff around in preparation for landing.
So if you page down, we would roll for...
Roll and you get a 5.
Yeah, 2d6 and a 5, so only 5 squads come up on board, and I don't recall where I set them up. Oh, I set them up in board 4, trying to mislead you that my landing force will be on board 4 and no other board. I don't think
and that was that right there. I mean, that the guy who landed X1 stopped anything from coming over farther. I mean, he basically sealed off with the heavy machine gun in that X. He basically sealed off board 3 and 4 from the other two. So you effectively just putting that guy there, you've cut the board in half, and that's pretty effective. Unless that question mark right in front of you there, it happens to be the tank, I might be able to dislodge the heavy machine gun. Other than that, you've already cut the board in half, and you're already steaming on your way to victory.
Then the other set of squads that are coming up are trying to flank the village through the woods on board 3, and they're going directly for the little question mark. Yeah.
Oops. Okay. Right. There we go. Okay. Now the first guy lands. Second. Yeah, it wasn't until later we decided to put the smoke on those guys to remind us about the smoke. And I still think that's the right way to do this, rather than put smoke counters all over the board. Just put smoke counters on the guys that are in smoke, and it's easier that way, I think.
It was funny, the master module that I was working with already had like a fog on it.
I suppose you could, well, and you could somehow use the night vision, but it just, oh well.
So what were you thinking at this point, Bob?
Really, I mean, it's just sit tight. I had to count on the hit initial placement to slow you down, and it did. There really weren't any forces that I could move, and you haven't really committed anything yet. You've got 5 forces over there. You've still got 19 to come on the board. This could be a feint, and
yep.
you could afford to throw away 5 squads. I was watching your leaders, though. That was the thing. I was watching where your leaders are landing. And once your leaders were in a certain area, be pretty sure that was where you were going. And you've already put, 2, 3 here? 1, 2, 3 leaders in here.
In the hopes of advancing quickly.
Out of so you put 3 of your 4 leaders, 3 of your 5 leaders?
Yeah.
You have 3 of your 5 leaders on one board. You still have another one to go. So, I mean, it's obvious that you're going to hit 4 and 3, but there's really nothing I can do about it. Just got to sit.
And you had no troops in the steeple. Oh, you did. You did. Yeah, of course you did. You had an MMG on the 2nd level.
Yeah.
So I was right to advance cautiously.
He's still limited in what he can see, and he's shooting down, so he's only going to shoot one thing at a time. Then you got a whole boatload of critters coming over.
Okay, so let's go on to Axis turn 2.
Let's see. Okay, you're advancing here, and now it's the Axis player turn. So I get to start. I actually, let's see, fog. 1 burns it off. Okay, the fog is still in there. Okay, 3D3 concealed. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what all these concealment things are doing here. Okay. Oh, I just unconcealed my Stug. That's what the problem was, right? And that was the main thing I was starting off with. I didn't want you to land knowing where the Stug was, but once you did land, I wanted to get him up on top of the hill so that he could shoot. And if that was going to be my one move for the turn, well, at least I got him up to where he could shoot. Or if it could be my one move for the game, because every time I move, I have to see if he runs out of gas. All right, so that's as good a place to be as any. I forgot to roll for German movement, right? I got to move 2. Yeah. All right. Well, I can move 2 stacks, and I wasn't going to move any. Because again, if I moved anybody, you'd start to know where I was. And the only friend I had in this thing is uncertainty. The less you knew about where I was, the slower you'd move, and that's right. And I had to hope that you'd move into hexes I could shoot at and knock you down with the -2. Of course, you did, and then I failed to execute. All right, here's where we add the smoke to the guys who are covered by it. Now, axis advancing fire, route phase, nobody's routing, and it's now the allied player turn. Okay, so allied, there's no routing. Scrolling back over here, there's no routing.
Radios.
Prep fire phase, no prep fire, roll for movement. Here's landing 5 again. So here we go. 1, 2. Okay, so now that you know where the Stug is, you're bringing bring your heavy machine gun on to take care of the steeple, right? I'm sure you have to do that. And you have to assume somebody defending this board, especially with the church at the north like that, they're going to have somebody in it. If the church were on the south, maybe not, because you're going to be landing right. I mean, you could land right in N8 or N1. Theoretically, N1's part of the river, so could land right there, that wouldn't be good. But yeah, with the church in the north like that, you got to know somebody's going to have something in there. They pretty much have to. Let's see. Okay, and he lands, and more lands, and more lands. All right, so you're already trying to assault the Stug, right? And I guess you identified early on that that was going to be the hard part of clearing board 3, because that was your objective, was to clear board 3. The hard part was going to be killing the Stug.
Yeah.
That's a true statement, and that's something that I will carry forward as a lesson learned too. And that Stug definitely made life difficult. It changed your whole dynamic on the board.
It sure did. It sure did. And I was not able to approach him. He was still in a precarious spot, but you covered him pretty nicely.
Well, yeah. Once you identified that, I hadn't thought of that, but once you mentioned it, yeah, then I realized, okay, yeah, the goal of everybody on board 3 and 4 is to protect the Stug and keep me in the game. So you move adjacent to one of my guys. It's a crew, and
He didn't fare too well.
He doesn't do any good, so he's going to die. I think, yeah, he spent the whole game broken.
Yep.
And I got another shot here. Advancing fire. Oh, that's you shooting back at me, right? No effect. And then it's your turn, so I don't want to lose him to close combat, so I voluntarily break him and run him away.
Oh, that's how you broke him. That's how he got broken.
That's how he got broken. Yeah, you shot with no effect, so he's DM. Otherwise, he would have been broken without DM. Not that it mattered. I broke him voluntarily so he could run away and not die in close combat. Hoping that eventually I'd be able to run my leader over to him and get him rallied, but that didn't work out. Was it worth losing the leader to rally a crew? If he'd been a squad, I probably would have had to taken the chance, but for a crew, no.
Yep. I wish I hadn't taken those squads to the right of that board 3. I diverted some forces, but again, you could have had a squad in that building off to the far side, for all I knew.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could have had a guy hiding over here in EE1 in the shoals, or in the trees over there in FF3. I mean, the whole point is you have to wipe somebody out. Well, you hide somebody in some obscure corner, and hopefully the hidden in place keeps them hidden long enough to where you can't kill them fast enough to get them to clear the board. Yeah. Sure, yeah, that would be gamey though. I mean, I probably should have had somebody over there. I kind of left the very ends of the board open as opposed to this being the middle of a contiguous front. If in the real world, there probably would have been somebody a little bit closer to the edges of board 2 and board 3. Yes, but I didn't really have the margin for error with these troops to actually try and do real world stuff. You do have to make some allowances for playing the game. Mm-hmm. And we're flipping the turn counter again. All right, so roll for one. We're rolling for the fog burning off because it's the beginning of a new turn, and bang, your fog is gone.
Not that it did any good to begin with.
The fog burning off really didn't help you all that much. Because I wasn't set up to really defend the beaches. But you never know. I mean, I could have, if you had landed just a little bit differently, if you had counted on the fog, you would have been in real trouble. Mm-hmm. No rallies, because he doesn't have a leader. Forgot to roll for the vehicle. Stu's okay, right? And I get to move 2 stacks again. Woohoo! So I move my 4, 6, 7. Let's see, where did I move him from? Move him 1 hex, okay. That was was, yeah, I moved him there to keep you from crossing the road, right?
Yep.
Again, that's it. It's it. Okay, the Stug is going to be the hard part. Great, defend the Stug. He was there originally to cover you landing on the edges there, like C1, B1, and 4B1. He's just trying to cover that big open area over there. Anybody trying to sneak onto board 4 here and flank the house would have run into him and been fired at. But since you decided not to land there, I moved him over and covered the road. And that ended up working out fairly well until you just overwhelmed him. You ended up pretty much overrunning him. And there were just too many guys. Let's see. This is defensive fire now. You're shooting at my brokey. You like to shoot at my broken units. Let's see. And it's our out phase. So he routes to the other end of the building. Close combat phase none. We take our picture. We flip to counter. And nobody rallied because I didn't have a leader. Do you have any broken? And 2d6 for allied landing.
Only 4 units.
And roll a 4. Yeah, you really rolled badly for landing your units. If you'd rolled 2 12s, this would have been over.
Yeah.
If with the 5 and 4, it's kind of Chinese water torture for you.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, there's your 4 squads. And
So eventually we'll have contact in a couple of unit pieces.
Okay. There you go. You've already moved up. You moved up to that, right? And here we go. We're finally starting to show up. You've moved into where I can shoot at you. Probably shouldn't have done it here. I should have probably let you cross the street. Yeah, probably should have kept him sealed up until you crossed the street. Because shooting at you in the wooden building with, what is that? Well, it was a squad, but still 4 with a +2 is a crappy shot. Oh, that's right. No, he didn't fire at you guys. He fired at the other guy. They just landed, right? The guy who just landed and didn't have any smoke covering him, he's a -2. Down there in F9.
And roll a 10.
Or P9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and then roll a 10. Saying, there you go. I'm set up to shoot at the -2s as they land, and nothing. So that was, and he's gonna pay for not doing his job. He ends up getting shot, I think, a few times. Then let's see. Oh, this is you shooting back, right? Yep, you shoot back.
Effect.
And you shoot back. Right, 2 with a +3 is not a good shot. 4 with a -2, it's a good shot. 2 with a +3, not so much. Okay, we're at the Allied advance phase. You're still moving up towards the Stug. Now you're shifting your guys over there, right? Flip the marker, axis turn. Now, let's see. George off-board concealed. Don't know what's going on. But I was toying with the idea of trying to move guys over from 1 or 2, but in fact, I really kind of dorked around and moved somebody from 2, but there's no way they were going to get there in time from 2. 1 might have been able to get somebody over there, but with the forces you had down there, like first the heavy machine gun down there, and was the medium? No, flamethrower. I don't know why you have a flamethrower there, but the forces you had right there at the bottom of 4 pretty much sealed it off. I couldn't move across that big wide open space without getting chewed up. So there you go.
Yeah, and I concealed the heavy machine gun at that point.
And that's, I guess, going forward, that's a key point, is whatever else the German does, he's pretty much not going to be able to move anybody across 4. That's, unless you really are going to counterattack, unless a German really counterattacks strong there, and takes care of whatever screening forces the American has there. American puts a couple of machine guns there, nobody's going to move across there. It's just the German doesn't have the forces to lose.
So you think the people that are going to view this AAR are going to replicate this tactic?
I don't know, and that's why I'm discussing. I'm discussing what the thoughts are and where I think where I did wrong and where I did right and what I'm considering for next time.
And have you ever seen anyone play the scenario like this, though? By putting a blocking
I've never
force?
seen anybody play the scenario.
How about that?
Okay, then, okay. So you put some concealment counters down because they didn't move or fire, right? Updated Axis rally phase, moving 3 stacks, okay. Let's see, hidden in place. Oh yeah, this is where I started moving the guys from 2. Wasn't, I didn't count anything out, didn't really pay attention to it. I thought, okay, 2's definitely out of the action, so let's see if we can get them over there in time, but there really was no way. I counted it out later and just no way he's going to make it. Not a chance. Let's see, then we decided to move. I decided to move another, I guess what you would call a reserve that I could move over without running afoul of your defensive fire there.
That's
I
on board
probably could
2?
have moved some more guys over, a couple more from, I think from R7? Yeah, from R7 over, I might have been able to get them over, but and if I moved quickly, I probably could have done that right away. I would have had to start right away, and I could have done that and probably should have, because the guys from board 4 that I did move really did do a good job defending, especially defending because they were in a position to defend the tank when the guys on board 3 were just running around for their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys on board 4 did a good job.
Yeah, they caused me to think twice and put a little bit more infantry there to avoid them from reinforcing board 3.
Let's see, 4H4, LMG, 4H4, 4G5, what the heck? Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's way over there. Yep. Yeah, because that was again trying to just make sure I could cover that road. Wanted to make sure you couldn't cross the road. Because to get a decent shot, you had to get within 3 is not a bad shot, but I think you need to get let's see, 3. Well, no, 3 you need a 6 to hit. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's better than you do with a Panzerfaust. That's for damn sure. And there's another one moving over. Let's see. Well, he's waking up and moving. Okay. Yeah. I probably should have moved the guys from R7 and from 05 too. But then I really wasn't looking forward to releasing your screening forces either. I had to maintain some sort of force over there to make sure if your screening forces moved, I could chew them up. Because there were, again, those big wide open spaces and plenty of way to shoot at them.
I should have perhaps not dedicated all my leaders to, or most of my leaders to board 3.
Well, that's where your attack was.
Oh.
Let's see. Okay, note to self. Okay, you made it back. Yeah. Nick, okay? Yeah. Note to stupid mistake number 1 in 3R6. All right, that was my stupid mistake in 3R6.
You didn't skulk. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I had meant when I rolled I had 3 moves to make, and I only moved 2. Oh, now, and the third was, let's see, it was the third, was, right, the bonehead move over on board 2. Instead of moving those yahoos over on 2, I should have skulked on board 3, moved 3R6 into the trees behind him so that he wouldn't get shot at from 3 different directions. Instead, I just left him there, and that was a bonehead move. I should have paid more attention to what I was doing instead of playing around on the other end of the board. Yeah. I actually passed morale checks in this one. That was quite amazing feat for me. Actually, you were shooting at me quite often, and I actually passed quite a few morale checks, which was really amazing. Not and highly unlike me.
Yep.
Okay, defensive fire to access advancing fire. We don't have any advancing fire that I know of. Oh, we do. Okay. 3T6. Where's 3T6? Oh, that was you. 3T6. Oh, that's my track. I'm shooting back, of course. Shooting back for no effect, of course. And we're advancing, right? Oh, and another guy moved over there. I don't know. I was just playing around on board 2 was dumb. I shouldn't just put that out of my head and ignored it for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I would have been annoyed if I had forces over there that were valuable players and I couldn't get them to the other side.
Well, let's just say that with the Germans' limited movement, they start out with really no forces, and then you're almost required to put half of them out of play and not use them. So whatever forces you have, you think you're starting with, the German pretty much is going to end up playing with a quarter to a half of them if he's lucky. A quarter of them, well, depending on how you deploy. If you deploy badly, you could end up playing with none of them. Let's see. Okay. Rolling for landing. And this time, let's see.
It says,
Turn 4 Allied rally phase. None roll for landing. Track created. No 3. So you're prep firing. Okay.
it's already prep fire phase.
Yeah,
we didn't roll until
yeah, right.
movement
At
phase.
the end of prep fire, right?
So
I forgot that sometimes you did prep fire. Usually you didn't.
yeah, that was a complete waste of firepower, I think. Yep.
8+3 and 3 or 6. Where's your? There's got to be a prep fire cannon in here someplace. There he is. Okay. And Snake Eyes for you're moving. It's for your landing.
No.
Yep.
Can
Roll
be.
2 dice. 8-3. Track rate, okay. You shot 8-3. No effect. Phase updated to movement phase. Roll 2 dice. George, 12. Are you rolling Snake Eyes? So you're landing 2 units.
Right. Could be. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yep. You're landing 2 units.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Well, that did me in. That was
So
your
you
worst
rolled
roll.
what? How many Snake Eyes did you roll in this game? There's 1. Then you rolled 2 for what? Shots later on, right?
2 consecutive snake eyes later on, yeah. Towards the end.
Jeez. Okay, so you got 2 units of land, and they're way out kind of middle of nowhere. But they actually do it. They end up causing me a lot of trouble. Those 2 guys. Yeah, that was a good place to land them.
Yep.
Okay, your bazooka is moving up, right, as expected.
However, he would not survive. None of them were able to reach the Stug.
Well, that was the whole point.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm defensive firing. Your landing guy, right? No, 6+1. Yeah. So that was no good. All right, defensive fire. 4-1 with the 1 morale check. Bang. Okay, but see, that's the whole point of having him there, is to keep you from moving over there so you can shoot at my tank. And especially from a place like that where you'd be shooting at his side, and I don't want you shooting at his side. Okay, defensive fire, no effect. Advancing fire, and you're going to we're trying to shoot way over there to try and take out the guy who took out the bazooka. Right? Yep. Nope. Okay. And another shot. Yep, you're shooting back at the guy in the building. He really and he got shot at a lot there. He did a pretty good job of holding that building. I should have done more for him, but okay. Moving another guy over there into the shooting gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Moving into the village, and that's the end of turn 4. And now, unfortunately, when we started up again, I did not remember to start a log file, so we don't have a log file.
So we have a picture of turn 5A. I'll put that up.
Okay. Well, I could load that, right?
Yeah, you
Let's
can.
see. Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't load the picture. You have to put the picture on your screen.
Okay, hold on one sec.
All I could load here would be the save game, but that would be the end of that'd be the end of the turn. I could load the saved game.
I got 4B, 4A. I'm not too sure if I can.
I won't be able to see your pictures as you put them on your screen to record them.
Okay.
But I can look at similar pictures on my end.
All right, you can go ahead and you can tell me what board you're looking at. You can go ahead, load up your picture of turn 5A, and you can tell me at what board you're looking at.
Teresa, do you have a picture on your screen?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. Of
So I'm
5A,
looking
5A?
5A, board 3.
Oh man, I gotta zoom in here. It's 5A, all right.
Yep.
Let's see, all right. At the end of 5A,
You have Polak running towards the church and steeple.
yeah, I moved, this is, I realized that you had put the heavy machine gun there as a fire base to take out the steeple.
Mm-hmm.
And hidden initial placement was only going to hide him for so long. And the rest of the defense was crumbling pretty fast, so I figured I'd better get Pollock. Pollock was originally there to take care of the 3 squads that were in the village, but I realized I had, with your guy moving up through the H row there, I think no M row, through the M row there, you were going to cut him off from the church pretty soon, and I needed him to be there to rally the machine gun crew. So he took off, abandoning the guys in the village to take care of the machine gun crew, and I bet I just kind of screwed up his move too. I should have got him there a little bit sooner, but he ended up getting there and kind of in the nick of time. Not enough to save the machine gun, but enough to save the squad.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. He was there originally to try and rally the guys here, but there were just too many forces. There's no way he's gonna be able to bounce around fast enough to rally people. And it was hard for me to keep in mind that this is a delay game, and it's very short actually, and I don't have time to move one place, rally somebody, move someplace else, rally somebody. It's going to be, you have to be there, because nothing is good. You only have a turn or two to do anything.
So now by the end of turn 5B, I again tried to advance my bazooka to no avail, but I did manage to move up 2 squads against the squad and the LMG that was guarding the Stug's right flank and eliminated him. And you had exposed the MMG on the church and steeple. You
Yeah, I shot the guy on the hill that was going to shoot my Stug.
exactly.
That was one of the reasons I moved Pollock over there, is because I figured the guy that was down there in the shell holes at F6, there was no way he was going to move straight up through the machine guns that could shoot at him. He was probably going to move up through G5, try to get up to F3, and take a shot.
And then I inadvertently advanced one of my squads directly in front of O5, not knowing that there was a German squad there with a Panzerfaust.
Yeah, actually moved into 05 and it bounced right, and then I got to take my defensive fire at you in 06. That was nice. That worked. Yeah, that was actually. I think I got a KIA Right, yeah, that was my KIA, was from the church steeple to your bazooka troop there at F4.
Yep.
That was a KIA.
Yep. But now you opened up the church steeple, and I have a tremendous amount of firepower on you. One MMG and two heavies.
Yeah, and one of the heavies is in a fire group with the medium, bringing it up to, what was it, 16, 18, something, 20 up there, firepower factors?
Correct. Post-traumatic stress disorder of the from the previous from the previous scenario we played. Two heavies in the same hex. All right, so that's 5B, 6A.
Let's see, 6A. Still. Let's see. You've taken down another one of my the last of my Stug defenders over here in E5. You broke him. It was an exchange of fire. We still don't really have all that much defending the Stug anymore. He's got his machine guns. That's about it. And we still have the steeple for some reason. You haven't managed to kill the steeple yet.
No, as a matter of fact, all the fire was ineffective. But I did manage eventually to get him with a low amount of firepower factors, but not with a high.
Well, you usually do better with the 2+1s than you do with the 16s.
Yeah.
And my troops in the village have started to back up. There is no hope. We're trading space for time here. They're getting, basically trying to stay apart to divide fire and stay in as much cover as possible. But there's really not going to be a lot of options for retreat. So they're just trying to stay low and try to avoid shots wherever possible. Still, though, all setting up to try to catch you moving across open ground wherever possible. And it didn't really work out, but I don't know. I hope it limited your movement in some aspects.
It did limit my movement. At this point, I started having fun because we had a nice firefight going on, and our casualties were about even.
Let's see. Then let's see what else we got over here. I moved to Kelly over on board. After you had started to chew up all of my forces over there defending the Stug on board 4. So Kelly finally had to move over and start to try. I was going to try and get him farther over, but it was looking kind of dicey. There's still, the way you had deployed your forces, there was a way for him to get over there, and I pretty much had to take advantage of it fast. I don't recall right off the top of my head whether I actually managed to take advantage of it or not, but I guess we'll find out. Because this is the end of 6A. Okay.
We were firing at each other back there. The 6-6 squads behind the wall versus the leader. I don't think there was much effect there.
6-6 went behind the leader.
Behind the stone wall, remember?
Well, that was early. That was an I2. Yeah, that was early on. Yeah. Okay, 6B. Whoops. Okay, why is that so much? 6B.
Oh, I eventually managed to break the squad holding the medium machine gun on the second level building.
Yep.
And he routed to this first floor.
Routed to the first floor, yeah. Which, I probably should have done earlier. That's another thing I need to another lesson learned. There's really no reason to keep him up there once you're already in the village.
Hmm.
And just leave him sitting up there for you to shoot at with, hundreds of firepower factors. When really what I needed was him to be low so that he could cover the back half of that hill there and try to protect the tank. Yeah.
So, if I understand you correctly, don't worry about the dog. he was there to take advantage of any mistakes that I made moving up. So if I didn't move in a blind hex, you'd get a shot on me, an opportunity to get a KIA. Other than that, you would put him in lower terrain and try to cover the low ground. Correct?
Mm.
Okay, 6B, and let's go to. Oh, that was actually was 7A and 7B is the
Okay,
conclusion.
7A. Still got, you got a guy. Let's see. Sorry, it's my turn. All right. Yeah, the leader is with the squad. Is the squad? I think. I don't remember whether the squad was rallied here or not yet. Let's see. Go back one. He was just broken, and Pollock. Pollock has just gotten there. And my crew is abandoning R3, trying to get back to Alamo.
Oh,
Because that's there's a leader there, and there's a good stone wall for breaking LOS, and if you can hide out in the church there, so it's actually good Alamo. Because I've only got to last one more turn at this point.
actually, I'm at 7B now.
Okay.
So 7B.
See, what else? I'm just looking at 7A. Let's see, I got the guy. Yeah, I got the crew out of the Alamo. And I had moved over and now had a medium machine gun, which I really was going to hope was help me defend the tank. But again, I keep on forgetting that level 1 stuff. He couldn't shoot it. He had to, basically, he was only going to go get you if you moved to E4, that was not going to be helpful. All right, and 7B. Here we go. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah, you shot Sekeli Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's a good leader and good troops, and just you're shooting at them with the 6.66s, with just a 6 with a
+1.
with a +1, and you manage to break him. And he's shooting at you with a squad, the medium machine gun, and a -1 leader, and doesn't do anything. You shoot at him with 6.66 +1 or +2, +1, and he's done. That's my normal morale check performance right there. Oh yeah, and I had moved my crew with the light machine gun up onto the hill there. That was to put paid to any chance of you getting up on that hill there. That was my defensive play of the game there right now. I personally think was getting that crew up there with the light machine gun next to the Stoop to keep you off the top of the hill. And oh, by the way, nobody could see him to shoot at him. That was great. Even though you could have moved to shoot at him fairly easily, but it never happened that way.
I think I lost the game early on with the deployment aspect to it. So there was very little I could do except preserve my troops. I was happy with my progress, I've never played this scenario before, and personally I felt I did pretty well. I could have done better, but there is an element of luck to it as well. And you performed very admirably as well.
Well, thanks. I think my setup was good. It gave me a little bit of flexibility, not a whole hell of a lot. And I managed to trade some space for time. I like getting the Stu did a good job. Managed to get a guy up there to defend it. No, I think you really needed to move more aggressively.
I wish I could. I don't think I had the forces to do it.
You outnumber me in the whole game, and you've got all of your forces on one board. So you're fighting probably a quarter of my forces. So you outnumber me probably 4-1. Maybe as little as 3-1. Still, those are the odds that people are looking for, even in frontal assault. Is a 3-1. So, there was just no way I could shoot at all your people. Yeah, but then again, if I'd had a couple of more troops in there, I don't know. You might be right. If I'd had a guy over in CC5 and you had to split up your troops and chase him around, then who knows? Things might have been different. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the hidden in place really works well for the Germans. I can see why they remove it eventually, because otherwise it would be the gamey thing to do would be stick a guy in I1 and just let him sit there the whole game and make with 7 turns isn't enough time to search the whole board. So yeah, they have to pull a hidden initial placement at some point so you know where we know where they are. But yeah, that's you got to maintain the hidden as long as possible. For you, your low arrival rules really kind of helped me by keeping hidden initial placement in turn. And you didn't land your final guys until what, turn 4?
Yeah.
No, it's longer than that. Let's see, you rolled a 5, a 5, a 2, and then let's see, we don't have the log for the rest. The 5, 5, 2. And that's 12. Yeah, I don't think you got your guys onto the board. I don't think you finished landing your guys until turn 5.
Correct.
And then so I've got most of the game hidden in place. Then you had 5, 6, and 7 to kind of half of 5 because that's when people became visible. So you only then knew where everybody was. As it turns out, you had already spotted everybody important, but. But you had 3 turns to try and wipe out these guys on board 3, and I don't know. There weren't that many guys on the board. I think you probably could have, with a more aggressive play, probably wiped out the infantry. But getting the Stug would have been tough. The way you went about it, Yeah.
Well, if our viewers have any comments, I'd greatly appreciate them. And I guess that's all she wrote for scenario 11, and we're due to start our final scenario before we start the series again with reverse rolls. Scenario 10, Hinge Off on the Rhine, shortly.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to the squad leader group and telling everybody that this actually is an enjoyable scenario, and I'm looking forward to playing it again.
Awesome.
It's fun. It's a challenge. It looked really stupid, and yeah, maybe if this one had, if you had rolled 2 12s and had everybody in the board in turn 2, got rid of, if you maintain the fog doesn't matter at that point. But if you're landing everybody in 2 or 3 turns, hidden in place is gone in turn 3. So you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to wipe everybody out on one board. Yeah, I don't think this would be a lot of fun. But the way it turned out actually was a close run thing.
Yep.
I think one more turn, you probably would have almost had it done.
Yep. I'm not complaining. So. Well,
good game, George.
Good game. Let's say goodnight to our viewers.
Okay, good night.
Good night.